Do you believe in God? What if I told you that, in some sense, everyone is an atheist, including you? This may sound contradictory or provocative, but before dismissing it, let's explore this idea together. Over the next few minutes, we'll dive into a reflection that questions our understanding of faith, belief, and the very nature of atheism. To begin, we need to clarify what it means to be an atheist. Atheism is often defined as the absence of belief in gods or divine entities. There are different shades of atheism: strong atheism, which actively denies the existence of gods, and weak atheism, which simply lacks belief without an explicit rejection. However, our focus here is more philosophical, on how our beliefs are formed and how, in certain aspects, everyone could be seen as an atheist. Let's start with a historical perspective. Throughout millennia, humanity has created thousands of gods, from the gods of Olympus, worshipped by the ancient Greeks, to the Norse gods revered by the Vikings. From the Egyptian gods, like Ra and Isis, to the spirits of nature honored by various indigenous cultures worldwide. Each of these deities was central to the spiritual and cultural lives of millions. Now, consider how a modern Christian views these ancient deities. They likely don't believe in Zeus, Thor, or Osiris. For them, these figures are myths, interesting stories, but not something they perceive as real in the same way they perceive their own God. Similarly, a Hindu might not believe in Allah or Jesus as the Son of God. In this sense, everyone is an atheist regarding gods outside their own religious tradition. This idea is encapsulated by Richard Dawkins, who famously said, "We are all atheists about most of the gods that humanity has ever believed in." Some of us just go one god further. This statement suggests that atheism isn't exclusive to those who reject all forms of divinity, but is a common trait among all of us, at least when it comes to the gods we don't believe in. But why do we reject some gods while accepting others? The answer is deeply rooted in our culture, history, and the way we are brought up from childhood. Religious beliefs don't emerge in isolation. They are shaped by a complex interplay of cultural, historical, and geographical factors. Consider this. If you were born in India, you'd likely be Hindu. If you were born in Saudi Arabia, you'd probably be Muslim. And if you were born in ancient Greece, you might have believed in Zeus and Hera. Geography and culture shape our beliefs in such a profound way that we often don't realize how much these influences dictate what we consider to be true. From a young age, we are exposed to a particular set of beliefs. These beliefs are taught to us as absolute truths, reinforced by rituals, stories, and the authority figures around us. However, if we had grown up in a different culture, these truths would be entirely different. Let's explore this with a practical example. Imagine a child born into a devout Christian family. From a young age, they are taken to church, participate in rituals, and hear stories about Jesus, God, and the saints. These experiences form the foundation of their understanding of the world and their own identity. To this child, Christianity is the truth. It gives meaning to their existence. But now, imagine that this same child, instead of being born into a Christian family, was born into a Muslim family. The stories they would hear would be different, the rituals different, and thus, the truth they would believe in would also be different. This leads us to skepticism. Skepticism is the practice of questioning the beliefs and truths presented to us. In science, skepticism is crucial. Nothing is accepted without evidence. But what if we applied this same skepticism to our religious beliefs? What if, instead of automatically accepting the truths we're taught, we question the origins of these beliefs? Would we still believe the same things? In this context, skepticism isn't about rejecting religion, but about encouraging reflection. It's a way to ask ourselves, why do I believe what I believe? If I were born elsewhere, would I hold the same beliefs? These questions might be uncomfortable, but they are essential for a deeper understanding of our own faith and that of others. Philosophy of religion isn't just about debating the existence of God. It's about exploring how and why people believe in divine beings. Rather than focusing on traditional arguments like the cosmological or teleological arguments, let's approach religion from an experiential and cultural perspective. Firstly, consider that for many, religion is a response to the human quest for meaning. Since the dawn of humanity, people have sought to understand the world around them, the purpose of life, and what happens after death. Religions arise as narratives that answer these fundamental questions, providing comfort and guidance. However, These narratives are deeply influenced by cultural context. For instance, the concept of a single, all-powerful God is central in Abrahamic religions like Christianity, Islam, and Judaism. But in other cultures, the divine might be viewed quite differently. In Hinduism, for example, there are multiple gods, each with their own characteristics and stories. In Buddhism, the focus is on personal enlightenment rather than the worship of a god. This diversity of beliefs leads us to reflect on the nature of religious truth. If so many different religions claim to be the truth, how can we determine which, if any, is correct? Perhaps what we are observing is more of an expression of the human need for meaning rather than an objective truth about the universe. This encourages us to adopt a more open and questioning stance, not to reject our beliefs, but to understand them better and perhaps to appreciate the beauty and complexity of the beliefs of others. Now, let's bring this reflection down to a personal level. Imagine yourself in an alternate reality where you were born into a completely different culture. If you had been born in an indigenous tribe in the Amazon, your gods would be the spirits of the forest, revered and feared as the protectors of nature and life. These gods would be as real to you as Jesus or Allah are to billions around the world. This thought experiment reveals something fundamental. Our beliefs are shaped not just by what we are taught, but by the context in which we live. They are an integral part of our identity, but this identity is largely shaped by factors beyond our control. However, this doesn't mean our beliefs lack value. On the contrary, they give us meaning, purpose, and direction in life. The challenge is to recognize that others, with different beliefs, are on the same quest for meaning. This understanding can lead us to be more empathetic, more open, and less quick to judge others' beliefs. Moreover, this perspective can help us reflect on our own beliefs more deeply. Do we truly believe what we believe because it is true? Or do we believe it because it's what we were taught? This is a question that each of us must answer for ourselves.